Too often, we find ourselves voting, but knowing little about the names or the issues that are on the ballot. But is this the way that it should be, or just the way that it's always been? Well, that's where we come in, community media. We reached out to the candidates of the May 24th election and asked them to spend a few minutes introducing themselves to the people of our communities. Here are the names, the faces, the voices, and the ideas of those who did. Thank you all for joining us. This is Gabriel Andrews, again with Community Media. I'm here with Miss Kenyatta Bell, County Commissioner candidate for District 1. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Outstanding. Thank you so much for being here. Could you introduce yourself to the community?
I can, yes. So as you stated, I'm Kenyatta Michelle Bell. I am a single mother of 3 kids, two college graduates. My older son has graduated. My daughter is finishing up her last year, who's a published author. And my youngest son, he graduated in December with his bachelor's. And he has 2 more years to play football and eligibility at Kennesaw State. I am also a local entrepreneur. I own a restaurant here in Meriwether County. And I was raised here by my grandparents, John Thomas and Lena Bell. My mother and my father both graduated from Greenville High. My mom graduated in 73 and my dad graduated in 71, Isaac Jackson. And my mom is Ruby Bell. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So my roots here, my family, both my father and my mother's side are from Meriwether County.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you said you had some prior affiliation with the military somehow?
Right. My husband, we were married for 20 years, Terry Compton. He also graduated from Greenville High. He was a part of the group. I don't know if you remember when Woodbury combined with Greenville, when they closed Woodbury High School. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so he came over with the students from Woodbury High School, but we knew each other growing up. So he graduated in 1991 from Greenville High. And so we were married 20 years and actually retired down in the southeast coastal area.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Right? Yeah. I used to be like, I didn't serve. What do you think it'd be for? But then the spouses are very important role in the active duty soldier's life. So you're right.
Yeah. I think a lot of times that doesn't get extended to the
right,
family.
The acknowledgement,
right. It's a team effort.
It
absolutely.
Does definitely take that. Being able to hold everything down, to manage the household, and being able to flex back and forth when the person is not there, going on deployment, and being able to keep the car on the road.
Yeah. And so, what's been your perspective on Meriwether County, on the community, on the atmosphere, on the culture, maybe?
Well, growing up here, we've always been community. Mm-hmm. I think, especially like the area where I was raised and where I currently reside. Everybody kind of looks out for each other, no matter your nationality or your denomination. Mm-hmm. All the churches have always been a strong point in the community. I believe that. And as of right now, with us, we've been in a pandemic for over 2 years. I think that affected every community. Mm-hmm. And we had some things that we were in need of even prior to the pandemic. And even though, we were blessed with, some financial things from the stimulus or whatever, but overall, I think our community is still hurting. But one thing the pandemic did do, it brought some attention to some things that we desperately need, like internet services, especially in the area where I grew up. I was a part of a club that, if going to high school in Greenville, nobody's going your way. Yeah. Because I didn't live close to anybody. And so there's just some things that we need to, and I know it's not something that can be done even from, a local standpoint, like for instance, the internet situation of trying to get it in, like for instance, the outer rural areas of Meriwether County, that's on a, upper level government type situation. Yeah. So, but making sure we start voicing our opinions about it. I think I remember seeing the news station came down during the pandemic, someone in Gay mentioned it. How are our kids supposed to learn if they don't have the resources? Yeah. So absolutely. Everybody's virtual. But everybody don't have the resources that they need to be virtual. So you can't be virtual without internet. And so that has been a struggle for us always.
So there are things that you see in the community that are necessary,
Right.
but not necessarily getting the attention.
Correct. Right. Right.
So what is it that inspired you to run for public office?
Okay, here's my answer, and it may not make sense. Inspired, or I would say more led, it was God. Honestly, it was definitely God. And when God put it in my spirit, I'm going to use this as an analogy. I looked at my cell phone, saw the text, and said, return to sender. You got to be talking to the wrong person, because I have all this other stuff going on. Surely you don't want me to do that. And as time progressed, and even the night before, I had to put my name on the ballot. I'm like nervous because this is major for me. I don't take it very lightly doing this assignment. And when God dropped it in my spirit about doing it, I began reading the handbook for county commissioners, find out what the roles and responsibilities are, and just kind of familiarizing myself if this is to come to pass for my life. And so the night before, like I said, I was nervous, and I was like, God, okay, if this is you, I want to know it's you. And I kind of wanted a word of encouragement. And I went on social media, and this apostle was online. And he was already teaching. And the first thing he said was, God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And he began talking about his transition from going from private to public, and giving some great nuggets on preparation in your private place. And so as I was beginning to drift off to sleep, I said, God, you know what? I want to wake up with a sense of urgency to do what I feel you're calling me to do. And the next morning he did that. I woke up and I got to downtown Greenville before anybody else got here. And I just sat outside, just praying and, just asking God. And honestly, when I got here, I was planning to run independent. And I was not prepared because I wasn't aware I needed to have 5% of signatures for me to do that. And so I literally, after I realized I wasn't prepared to run independent, I left the city. I was driving out of Greenville at least 3 times. And each time that tug was like, you got to go back. And I was like, okay. I said, well, God, sometimes you really can ask God for a confirmation again, and he's like, I'm telling you, I got you. And I'm like, okay. So I get to the voter registration office, and for the first time I meet Ms. Wanda that works there, and she saw my name and she asked me if I knew Rubenelle Bell, and I said, that's my mom. And so it was like in that God perfect moment, she began telling me a story about my mom. So it was like, not only did God meet me there, but he brought my mama with me too, to meet, in that moment. And so I'm sitting there crying like I'm at her funeral again. And I told her, I said, when I got done, I said, I wished I could just hug you, but I know with COVID, and she's like, girl, I don't care nothing about that. Come give me a hug. And so it was like, she gave me what I needed in that moment to kind of like seal it for me. And that really blessed me. Because that's one of the beauties about being from a small town, a small community like Meriwether County. We're blessed to have a very beautiful and peaceful county. We have so much potential and so many possibilities. It's just us coming together to ignite that beauty, to build our area, our community back up together. So if the communities come together and build together, and the communities in the cities, and the cities build within the cities, those cities coming together will build a one Meriwether that makes it better for everybody.
I noticed there were so many similarities when you began to describe how you felt about the community and just what your experience was like. That word keeps coming up. It's family, it's community, it's close, it's knowing one another and spending time with each other.
Right, and that's pretty much how my family is. I'll tell people that, the world had a pandemic started a little over 2 years ago, but my family, unfortunately, it seems like we experienced our own personal pandemic. I'm not sure if you remember Joseph Alexander. He's my uncle. He passed away 5 years ago. And then his middle daughter passed away from cancer. And then my mom, and this is all on my mom's side of the family. Then I had 2 uncles that passed away on the same day, and a first cousin and a great uncle. And so we lost like 6 people in just a few months. And then later that year, my oldest aunt passed away. And then after she passed, 3 days after that, I found Terry in a diabetic coma, and he passed away. Wow. And so less than a year, you're talking about my family. When you think of bereavement family, you know, that you hear in church, you're like, okay, the Bell family. And it's nothing that's, you know, funny, but I feel, you know, sometimes you feel like heaven meeting quota with your family. And so I felt like we were in our own pandemic. And then, you know, when Terry passed away, that was traumatic for me and my children.
Are there ways that you feel like that experience kind of shaped who you are today, or?
It did. It did. It did. When I tell you, it increased my faith. It increased my faith. Oh my God, I have Abraham's faith. You know, when God told him to go sacrifice Isaac, and he told everybody, we'll be back. That requires crazy faith. And I believe in this season, being whatever position, whether county commissioner, mayor, or whatever, we gotta tap into our crazy faith to rebuild our city. And so that coming out of the pandemic, we all are better. We have to have a vision. And then to execute that vision and bring everybody together, we gotta unite together in faith, hope, and love. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And I believe, like you said, everything that I went through, there was a purpose for my pain. It was very traumatic, and the trauma turned catastrophic very easily. I mean, like, it was just one situation after another situation, and it's only by the grace of God that we made it. I knew I could not stop because I had 3 children that could not stop, and I'm thankful. And like I said, God kept me in His perfect peace. So yeah.
We are glad that you made it through.
Me too. Thank you. And I'm excited. I'm happy to be home. There, like Dorothy used to say on The Wizard of Oz, there's no place like home. And there really isn't. To be like Cheers, say you want to go somewhere where everybody knows your name. And so, not saying everybody knows my name, but
enough people for it to feel like a,
right.
like a place.
Because even if they don't know my name, they know who my mom is. They definitely know who my grandmother is. She's a minister of music, and she still plays, Miss Verlene Jackson. And like I said, my mom, she was, you know, she played basketball here at Greenville High, and so.
So as a mother,
Mm-hmm.
as a business owner, a community involved in the community, what is it that you think you bring to the office of a county commissioner? What
I feel like I bring, and honestly what I'm doing now, and before I answer your question, I do want to start with an apology. Since I put my name on the ballot, I haven't been very public. I haven't put out any signs, or there was a couple of meetings that were going on and I haven't been able to attend. And I want to apologize for that, because the reason I haven't, my dad was in a car accident. And so I've been helping him out. And one other thing that I've been doing, which is would make, me a great candidate, but I want to hear the hearts of the other people who are on, running for District 1 County Commissioner, because they also will be a great candidate, especially if what they're saying, their vision and, whatever they share touches the heart of the voter or the people in the community. So, but as far as for me, some of the things that, I've noticed that we need are things that I'm behind the scenes right now working on. So even though I'm not in the position, there are some things that I'm working on to bring to our community that's going to better our community, that's going to better our county, that's going to better our school system, that's going to change the trajectory of our kids' lives here. And so those are things that, we will announce later, and I would love to announce it with you guys. And I'm really excited about it. It's going to be, a major game changer here. Hopefully bring some new businesses to the area, which we desperately need. Bring some more restaurants, which we desperately need. I'm begging people, hey, I know you want to be in Atlanta, but let me tell you about this great county that's only 54 miles from the airport. So I'm kind of like marketing, which, they're in Dallas. They're in Dallas and Jacksonville, Florida. So I'm like, this is where you need to be. You're not that far. It's a peaceful ride here. Let's come build my community together. And so those are some things that, I've been, my restaurant, my cooler messed up, and, we've been closed for a few months. But even with us in our downtime, and I haven't been very visible to the community, but I am working behind the scenes. I'm working on bringing resources to not just District 1, but to our county. So even without the position, I'm executing the vision now. Mm-hmm. And so
it sounds like part of that that work that you're describing. You talked about kind of reading up on the position and
right.
the responsibilities of a
right.
county commissioner. What does that job look like in your eyes?
Well, there's so a lot of information that to learn and get familiar with. Of course, one thing that may stand out to everyone, they talk about roads, and I desperately understand that one because, our house is still on a dirt road and everybody wants their road paved. And then just being over the affairs of the county, serving each community that you are representing and being that voice to make the best decisions for the county as a whole. But definitely you representing your district with that, bringing new businesses to the area. And I believe that, I think this project that, and I have to give all glory to God, once this evolves, once this manifests, I believe it's going to be great. It's going to be a great merger for our school system and our county and each of the local municipalities. For us to have to address some of the issues that that concern the people that live within our county.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, what are the type of things that you'd like to see happen in the community should you be elected?
Well, I would like to see more unity. I would like to see that. I would like to see us addressing our concerns about bringing more businesses to our county. I want to see us, I really want to see us feature or showcase the beauty of Meriwether County, because we have a beautiful county. It's so peaceful. It's like we're sitting on a gold mine, and there's nothing greater than, you can feel the love in the communities. No matter what. And so that's one thing about, having the restaurant uptown and, being across the street. And since we've had our downtime, I miss cooking biscuits I miss serving our customers. I miss Miss Helen and Pastor Dan from across the street. I miss Eddie fussing at me about how his eggs coming out. I mean, just having that one-on-one and relationship and the coaches and the educators that will come in the morning before work and get breakfast. I miss that. And that small town feel, I miss that. I love it. And, how I am now is how I am when you come in my restaurant. How I am now is how you going to get me at church. And I'm very approachable. I'm very transparent. I'll share my story with anybody. And I don't take credit for anything from the restaurant to, things that, we've overcome, we've survived, and we're now, we're determined to thrive above even everything that we've encountered.
Mm-hmm. So is there anything that you'd like to say to the voter, to the people of our community?
Yes, I would like to say, I want to really encourage everyone to get out and vote and get registered to vote. I want to make sure that everyone, because I know that you guys are basically doing interviews with each of the candidates for each position. So I want everyone to take a listen to each candidate, and I want you to vote for the person that you feel represents what you want to see in your community. And that's pretty much it, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to listen to each of the candidates who's running in District 1, and I'm going to vote for the one that I feel best represent what I want to see in my community, whether that's me or somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Outstanding. Outstanding. Well, thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you all for being here with us. Again, Hopefully this gives you a face to put next to the name on the ballot and prepares you to make a more informed decision. This has been Community Media. I'm Gabriel Andrews, Kenyatta Bell, County Commissioner candidate for District 1. Kenyatta, thank you so much for
Thank
being with us.
you. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.